Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Biology Boss MCQ Part 15. Without wasting any of our time, I would like to encourage you to learn, to like, to share, and to subscribe. A soil sample characterized by good aeration, high drainage, low capillarity, and loose particles is A. Clay. B. Loam. C. Sand. D. Laterine. And the answer is C. Sand. Hydrogen peroxide solution was added to small pieces of fresh liver in a test tube. A gas was given out violently. The gas was most probably A. Carbon dioxide. B. Hydrogen. C. Water vapor. D. Oxygen. And the answer is D. Oxygen. Which one of the following is likely to be due to deficiency of calcium in plants? A. Short plants with well-developed root system. B. Tall slender stem with few leaves. C. Poor growth and yellow leaves. D. Stunted growth and poor root development. And the answer is D. Stunted growth and poor root development. Which one of the following statements is true about the right side of the heart? A. Sends oxygenated blood to the lungs through the pulmonary vein. B. Receives deoxygenated blood from the cells via vena cava. C. Sends oxygenated blood to cells through the aorta. D. Receives oxygenated blood from lungs via pulmonary vein. And the answer is B. Receives deoxygenated blood from the cells via vena cava. A colorless solution of substance X was placed in a test tube. Some amylase was added to the solution, and a drop of iodine solution was added to a portion of the mixture at intervals. The color of the mixture changed from blue to purple, and finally brown. From the observation, one can conclude that substance X is A. Reducing sugar. B. Starch. C. Simple sugar. D. sucrose. And the answer is B, starch. What environmental conditions are necessary for the development of the chick from the egg? A, moisture, warmth, and light. B, warmth, air, and light. C, air, warmth, and moisture. D, moisture, air, and light. And the answer is C, air, warmth, and moisture. Fermentation takes place in organisms like yeast when such organisms A, have an accumulation of carbon dioxide produced during respiration. B, have inadequate supply of oxygen for respiration. C, are living in areas where there is very little supply of starch. D, have inadequate supply of alcohol for providing energy later. And the answer is A, have an accumulation of carbon dioxide produced during respiration. Which one of the following is likely to contribute most to air pollution in a town? A, smoke from motor vehicles. B, smoke from industries. C, cigarette smoking. D, domestic fire. And the answer is A, smoke from motor vehicles. Does spraying oil on water control the mosquitoes which carry malaria? A, the oil layer prevents mosquito larvae from breathing. B, the oil is poisonous to the malarial parasites. C, the adult mosquitoes stick into the oil and die. D, the mosquito larvae die because of lack of pure water. And the answer is A, the oil layer prevents the mosquito larvae from breathing. During fertilization in flowering plants, A, two sperm nuclei fuse with two endosperm nuclei. B, two sperm nuclei fuse with an egg nucleus. C, one sperm nucleus fuses with one egg nucleus. D, one sperm nucleus fuses with two endosperm nuclei. And the answer is C, one sperm nucleus fuses with one egg nucleus. Why is the blood circulation in mammals said to be double circulation? It is because A. The blood has two functions of carrying nutrients to the body and wastes from the body. B. There are two main types of blood vessels, the arteries and veins. C. There are two types of blood, the deoxygenated and oxygenated. D. The blood goes through the heart twice before returning to the body. And the answer is D. The blood goes through the heart twice before returning to the body. Which of the following happens when a torch is shone directly into a person's eye? A. Less flattens diverging light ray more properly. B. Iris muscles contract, narrowing the pupil. C. Eyelash muscles relax, enlarging the pupil. D. Less bulges, allowing in less light. And the answer is B. Eyelash muscles contract, narrowing the pupil. A normal-skinned man married an albino woman. They got children who all had normal skins. The conclusion is that A. The mother had a miscarriage of those who would have been albinos. B. The man's blood was stronger than that of a woman. C. The gene for albinism was absent in all the children. D. The gene for normal skin is dominant over the gene for albinism. And the answer is D. The gene for normal skin is dominant over the gene for albinism. Which one of the following would happen if the dorsal root of the spinal cord was cut? A. If the ventral root is stimulated, the animal will respond. B. Simple reflex arc will not be affected. C. Effector cells will not receive impulses. D. The animal will not respond to any other stimulation. And the answer is C. Effector cells will not receive impulse. Which one of the following organisms will be least affected if kept in the surrounding for 6 hours under the following constant temperatures? A. Earthworm at 38 degrees Celsius. B. A rat at 4 degrees Celsius. C. A typhoid bacterium at 10 degrees Celsius. D. an agama lizard at 41 degrees Celsius? And the answer is C, a typhoid bacterium at 10 degrees Celsius. Which one of the following organisms will be least affected if kept in a surrounding for 6 hours under the following constant temperatures? A, the earthworm 38 degrees Celsius. B, a rat 4 degrees Celsius. C, a typhoid bacterium 10 degrees Celsius. D, an agama lizard 41 degrees Celsius. And the answer is C, a typhoid bacterium 10 degrees Celsius. Which one of the following represents the correct order of action of nitrifying bacteria? A, ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. B, nitrite, nitrate, ammonia. C, nitrate, ammonia, nitrite. D, nitrite, ammonia, nitrate. And the answer is A, ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. Which one of the following statements about the ear is not true? A, membranes between the middle and inner ear prevent the fluid in the inner ear from leaking out. B, the eustachian tube serves to equalize the air pressure between the outer and middle ear. C, if the tympanum bursts, the sound waves will not be transmitted to the middle ear. D, sound waves are transmitted to the brain through the semicircular canal and the auditory nerve. And the answer is D, sound waves are transmitted to the brain through the semicircular canal and auditory nerve. Which of the following actions are likely to increase the volume of the chest cavity when A, both intercostal and diaphragm muscles contract? B, the ribs are lowered and pushed inwards. C, the diaphragm is dome-shaped. D, both intercostal and diaphragm muscles relax. And the answer is A, both intercostal and diaphragm muscles contract. Changes in dry weight of a seedling are given below during the first 3 weeks. Week 1, dry weight is 10 grams. Week 2, dry weight is 6 grams. And week 3, dry weight is 4 grams. Which one of the following explains the changes taking place during the 3 weeks? A. The seedlings are using some of their food reserves in respiration. B. The soil is dry and seeds are losing water too quickly. C. The rate of respiration is lower than that of photosynthesis. D. The rate of transpiration is higher than the rate of absorption. And the answer is A. The seedlings are using some of their food reserves in respiration. The diagram above is a pyramid of numbers representing life in a habitat studies. Which of the following statement is a correct interpretation of what is represented here? A. Secondary consumers receive more energy than tertiary consumers and are less in number than primary consumers. B. The primary consumers consist of more animals than the secondary consumers and hence less energy. C. The primary producers are numerous in number and small in size. D. The tertiary consumers are the biggest animals in the pyramid and receive more energy than the secondary consumers. And the answer is A. Secondary consumers receive more energy than tertiary consumers and are less in number than the primary consumers. Hello, thank you very much for participating in Biology MCQ Boss Part 15. I encourage you to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you.